Hi, Steve from Custom Table Tennis, and following on from the last video we did about grips, I hope we covered all the grips. People have asked us over the years about the different head sizes and what does it mean. Why, for instance, if I look at the two extremes, which is the obvious one, which is that is a very, very small hallmark. We don't do many hallmark blades these days, but that was quite a compact blade. So you can see the size, 149 that way by 153. So what that would do to your bat, if you've got something that small, it would be a lot quicker, even in the same thickness and the same ply, a lot thicker, a lot quicker rather than something like another extreme size is the Dr. Neubauer Barricade, which is designed as a slow, controlled, get the ball back, come defensive, chop blocking blade. So basically the theory is, and it is pretty much the same with all the different brands, is the smaller the blade, the quicker it's going to be, because there's less area there to absorb the impact of the ball. So if you look at the Barricade again, you've got a big area at 163 by 163 that way, bigger area. And then on top of that, if I'm just moved to another one, which is the Nitaku Shake Defense, and as you can see, this one's 161 by 166, but also to make the blade even more defensive because it's an oversize, then you get a very thin blade. So you're going to get something, look at that, bang on 5mm, it's precision made, as opposed to one of our popular selling blades, which is the Exium Kiso Inoki range, which it's got a unique blade face in itself, because the other thing, apart from the actual size, is every manufacturer has their own shape. So this series of blades, this shape is unique to the Kiso Inoki range. But going back to the thickness, so you've got 6.3, so it's just basically the same construction, except you can see there one's very, very thin, it's got the carbon in. Even looking at the outer layers of the Hinoki, very, very similar in construction, except one's compact. You're going to get more pace on the ball. This one you're going to get more dwell, and it just goes on forever. These are templates I've got over the years. As I say, that's a very, very old one, is the Hallmark. That's probably the most standard. So that is 150 by 157, covers these, give or take millimetre, half a millimetre. It's not cast in stone because each blade has its own little idiosyncrasies. It might not exactly be the same. That's from an old Kenny style, that's from a 40-year-old blade. That's from a TSP Balsa. So what people don't realise about the TSP Balsa range is once you go up from the 2.5 to the 3.5 to 4.5, it becomes a different blade altogether. Interestingly, the Jula T-Bar Andro blades, some of the older ones and some of the new ones as well, very, very small head. Even on the all-around, I mean, I must have had this 25 years. It's before I found a nice material. I've got some nice 3mm stuff. If somebody wants a template making of a specific blade and we've got it in, we charge £3.99 for doing a template, because this stuff costs a fortune. It's what they use, the estate agents' boards. So it's a very, very strong, durable material. I mean, I've had cardboard over the years, but over the last few years, as you can see from the TSP and the Victus, so it runs from the 4.5 to the 8.5 off the smaller head, And there you go. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. I've got all these different things. A JC Uke, which we found out what that's made of. A big defensive blade again. Wood nut chop blocker, 162 by 167, which is an XL blade. And it goes on. That's ours. It's a butterfly defense. That is actually one that an NSD that I cut down. So I cut it down, and then they've got a butterfly super defense there, an old one. But what I did with that one is I chopped it down, made a good job if I say so myself. I took it down a little bit to the size. So blade size, it's a very, very personal thing. You either want a standard blade, you probably don't know much about it, you've just bought a bat, you probably even never thought about it. But lots of people are asking why, excuse me, why do they come in so many different sizes? And then if we look at the absolute extreme, what we're going to do is, I think I've covered all those really, because there's not too much to say. If you've got a big thin blade, you're going to be looking at steady controlled play, possibly defensive, possibly chop blocking. If you've got a small one, you're going to be looking at more attacking play. This one's a little bit of fun. They're not the best made thing in the world, but then again, it's just for a little bit of fun. We sell them with the standard 868 on $14.99. This is no longer ITHF approved, but then you wouldn't be playing in a tournament with it or a game with it anyway. But the theory is playing with something as tiny as this. I did know the size, but I can't remember. As you can see, the blade is about 120 by 120. The idea is, if you practice with something like this for half an hour, and then you go back to your bat, you should be seeing the ball like a football, because if you can hit with this and play table tennis shots with this, you can play, it'll help you with your normal game. What we're going to do, bring this one in, we've probably got 6 of those with 10 edges on. And the reason why we've got 6 of those that I'm going to make with 10 edges on is because ordinarily when I get old rubbers coming back, I give them away for coaching, but as you see, the 10 edges, especially on the FXs, they tend to suffer a little bit around the edges. So on a small blade, we can stick your 10 edges on. As I say, the edges really do suffer. As you just keep going down and down and down. So we basically, on the next 5 bats, in fact, what we'll do is we'll put it on the listing. We'll say Tenergy. There's one there. You can see he's tried to take the piece out of it. Look, he's super glued it back on. It's the good old Tenergy. Because the £60 a sheet, people are trying to make them last and last and last. But look at that one. I mean, there's no way that I'm giving that away to a coach. You know, it's but actually doesn't really matter, because we're going to cut them down and stick them on these little bats for a bit of fun. It's time consuming for me. I've got to just make it up the same, make sure I get my fingers out of the way while I'm cutting around with a scalpel. If you want to see the video where I actually make bats, go on to the section with the videos. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to finish up, because even though I've already done the video, people have asked about the cleaner and various things that you can do with the cleaner. So if we can get in on that, we can see all the dirt in between the print on the Tenergy. So the Rejuvenator, somebody's asked me to do it again, but I'm not going to do a whole video about this. So what you can do, a few drops on there, a little bit of sponge, and then all you do is just keep rubbing away. You might have to do it twice, depending on the extent of the, there you go, you see the dirt, probably needs a little bit more there. We'll give it a little bit more, and you're not damaging the rubber, because the rubber's old and anyway, so it's not like you can doing any damage. It's a water-based ITHF approved product. We use it all the time on little jobs like this. or even when somebody comes and they just want a rubber on one side, I'll clean the rubber for them. And then just to finish off on something this small, a little bit of a drop there, and then just clean it with your hand. And yeah, I mean, it's pretty worn. It's a worn out Tenergy that ordinarily would go in the bin, but because we've got these things, oh look at that, I've just seen it. Unfortunately, somebody's going to get this one. You have to put in the notes, don't send me the one that in the review with the split, but that's Tenergy. It's one of the best rubbers in the world, but doesn't win any prizes on durability. So I think I've covered everything about head sizes. So the upshot of it is, if you've got a small compact blade, it's going to be faster than a bigger blade, which is for defensive, and then you've got the ones in the middle. So if you want more videos, hit the like and subscribe, and get your table tennis products from customtabletennis.uk. We're just a small family-owned business. We're not multi-millionaires, and while we can, we'll try and get a couple of videos on every week. Tuesday at 1 o'clock, Friday at 1 o'clock. It's not cast in stone, especially when we start getting near Christmas. But Steve from Custom Table Tennis, bye for now.